This is my first combination square. I was told that I needed one, that it would come in handy. I'd never used one before, but I was in Ace Hardware, and the only brand of combination square that they had was the Ace brand, which does say that it's made in the USA. They're on the corner of the package, and Ace has been a quality brand for some time, so I thought it would be okay. There's the Made in the USA symbol. I know what a combination square is for from all the videos that I've watched. It's to check if boards or sides of boards are square. There's also a measuring tool. There's the small brass knob that you can loosen to move the rule back and forth. On this one, the markings are engraved or etched into the metal. There are centimeters or millimeters on one side, and of course imperial measurements on the other side. And the way that the groove is positioned halfway across the bar, it can be turned around on the square either way. But yeah, here's the millimeters markings. I think I would have preferred centimeters so that we wouldn't need all those extra zeros there, but we got the zeros. And it goes all the way up to just past 15 centimeters or 150 millimeters. And the other side is about 6 inches. This is a small combination square. The brass knob is pretty easy to loosen, but there's no halfway point. It's either tight in there or you barely move it, then it's not tight anymore. And here I'm just checking to see if it works or how to use it, because again, I'd never used one before. That board is not square because that's not a factory edge. That's a edge that I cut some time ago on this piece of scrap, and of course I didn't get it perfectly square. But I think this is a factory edge. It does appear to be square, or at least very close to it. There is the bubble level built in, which I don't think I would use because that's such a small piece of a plate of metal there that I would just use a regular level to see if something is level, but I don't think about 2 inches of a flat piece of steel is enough to check if something is truly level all the way across. But anyway, it feels solidly made. There aren't any sharp edges or burrs. I had already bought this Incra Tiny T, which I'm holding up now, which has these tiny holes that you can put a mechanical pencil lead through to make markings, which since I made this video, I have actually used both of these tools. And it turns out I've used the combination square a lot more often than the Tiny T. But to make these types of marks that I'm demonstrating right here, sliding the Tiny T up and down the board, I've definitely used the Incra Tiny T more. But for making marks across the board, or with the 45-degree angle, I've definitely used the combination square a lot. I now keep it in the pocket of my apron, and it's easy to pull out and just make the marks and then pop it back in. As for measuring the height of something, say a router bit or the depth of a saw blade, it's pretty easy to just slide the rule down to the end of the combination square flat against the workpiece and measure the height there, as I'm showing with my finger. Which I thought I was going to be able to use the Tiny T for, but it turned out to be a little harder to do that with, as I'm trying to demonstrate here with the Tiny T. There are markings on the end, but because of the holes printed in it, it's a little harder to see exactly how high something is with that tool. It turns out to definitely be easier to do with the combination square because the markings are right there. Now, after my unboxing, I noticed that this tiny pin had fallen out of the back of the combination square. It looks like it goes in this little hole right here. At the time, I didn't know what it was for, but it clearly had threads to screw back in there and a nice perforated knob, I guess, that made it easy to grip and unscrew. But it looks like it might be for scribing. That's what I thought immediately, and here I decided to test that out. And it does work to make an impression or demarcation on the wood. It's very easy to see. And as it turns out, that is what that is for. And so I have used it several times, but since then I have purchased a marking knife, and as well as just using a pencil the old-fashioned way. But it's nice to have that there in case I do need to score a line on the material. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.